All right, long-term plan. My goal, not even my goal, because goal would imply that there's an end. My current top objective is to start a city in Nevada, and I want to use all green energy, all green industry. I want to push for um, it's a big on workers' rights. I want to try and get it to where the economy is entirely co-opt, right? So all the companies that are in the city pay a certain percentage of the profit of the company. Thus, people actually want to work there and get shit done. Okay. Within that, I'm going to have a giant AI supercomputer in the city, right? And the AI supercomputer is there to run a video game. And the video game will be calculating star charts with random number generation by using the player base as the random number generator. Uh, so yeah, not just interplanetary travel, but interstellar travel. We're not there, but if I start now, then by the time we get to the point where we can actually do something cool, we can get there. I also know how to launch spaceships very efficiently. I figured it out. I know how to do something with electricity that we are not doing. I figured it out. So, we'll get there. We're just not there. Um so I eventually want to build towards that space exploration future through the city. Through the city, it's basically going to be on a gold standard economy. It's going to be relatively more or less based on the crypto farmed for the star charts, which I want to convert into gold, and then the players in the game creating user generated content will be able to buy and sell and trade with each other, and that includes armor and equipment in the game, right? So you will be able to create things in the real world and then sell them to people so they can then play the AR version of the game in their LARP costume of who they are in the game, right? So you could dress up and you'll end up seeing people playing the game. It'll happen. IRL, full costume, being who they are, online and in the real world, right? And that it's going to be a very strict online community too. Um, very strict. The idea is for the game itself to become the UI that people want to use for their computers, right? They're going to interact with the entire internet through this and use a 3D scanned in model of their body to go shopping and shit for clothes, right? So everything can be custom tailored to them because the game will have their dimensions and shit. And that'll all be very private and server side, or not server side, body information, facial recognition, all of that. That'll be account side. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out best for security, but I don't want people losing their freaking fortunes by losing shit in the game. So there's going to be all kinds of security around it. But I do not want your personal image to be nothing in the game, at least anything within my control. I do not want AI to be human representing, so I don't want it to look human whatsoever. I'll try and I personally think puppet people is hilarious. If like all of the NPCs are just puppets, like Muppets and fucking hand puppets and whatever kind of puppet, marionettes, whatever. Depends where you're at, right? The puppets will talk to people. It'll be fun. Um, it's a very wild game, and it does not end. And it just the players continue to generate the map, and as they can generate the map, then random number generation occurs because the player went here when they had this happens because of that, shit like that. It'll really make for an interesting environment. Okay, like a stronger player cuts through a certain area that hasn't been generated before, it'll probably generate a stronger player area. uh, that could create some problems. That could be interesting problems to create for other players, because once the map starts getting huge, like, yeah, players are going to get stronger, and I do not want the players to ever feel like they're going to stop getting stronger. And I do want the players in the game to be able to compete against each other at full strength, and recognize that, we're going to need a balanced version of that competition, but I have plans for that too. Um, so yeah, game, city, space industry. I want to do space elevators. I have a whole thing for VTOL racing. I have a huge thing for VTOL racing. Actually, I really want us to start VTOL racing. I want one. um, yeah, I got my electrical generator. It runs on alcohol. If it works like I think it's supposed to, and it's going to take quite a bit of R&D, I think it's a great idea. I want to use a lot of handmade models. I want all of the fucking elements of the map to be handmade. I want like photographed set pieces and shit. I want all of the action. I want it to be seamless mocap. I don't want it to feel clunky at all, and I want it to be to where like the players want to use the buttons more than they would want to use AR. But I got a bunch of ideas for AR tech too, like rings and shit like that. Um, that's all buried in my head somewhere though. It's unnecessary until I have a framework built. Stories in my head coming along. It's been started. I'm getting there. I've got not much written, but I have a lot of notes I've taken and world building stuff done. And I've been working on this game since I was like 9 years old. Right? I wrote a story about a kid who gets sucked into VR back in like when VR Troopers was on the TV. Right? And since then, it just keeps evolving. When I hit like high school and started playing at like net cafes and shit, I started getting more ideas about what kind of game I would want it to be. So I know how all the pathing structure for the combination sets. The combos are super long. Like the game just keeps getting bigger. Like it's gonna be amazing. Some of it might be like repetitive within the combos because it's the nature of combat. Like you move certain ways. So it should be really incredible to play. It's gonna be. I would really highly recommend being a controller player. However, the controllers are gonna need to be custom. We're gonna need new controllers. I have an idea for it's a 6 button, might be a 12 button controller with the freaking little scuff paddles and maybe some other stuff. Uh, but yeah, it's just gonna be more comfortable because it's more of a combo based fighter game, MMORPG, right? So like, picture Devil May Cry 1 combination system. It's kind of what I stole that from. However, I want to do it with a lot more weapons that are in there. So there will be the option to be like a first-person shooter game. However, you're going up against like magic defenses and all that shit. So it's gonna be like having range isn't gonna be the advantage people really think it is when most of the players want to get inside tight. So you're gonna need to be like super fast and agile and stuff. There's gonna be huge environments where you can jump around on. Like in my head, it's always been very small, but no, it's massive. It's massive areas. Um, Fully destructible environments that can be collected for resources to build your own. Like, you can go into the labyrinth, right? And like sections that have already been cleared out and stuff. You can start tearing it down and then rebuilding it. So you can do like Minecraft style building inside the game. I want it to look good. So the creation engine's going to have a lot of toys in it after a while. Especially once people start buying and selling decorations from each other and shit like that. It should be. And then we'll just make it scalable, and then the resources that it takes to scale the item are scalable. And if people want to blow a bunch of stuff to build a mini game, and then that mini game can be sold to the company. I'm not going to let people charge to play mini games. Period. But there'll also be PvP zone. Like most of the game should be a PvP zone, right? Because it's massive. It's going to be really hard to track people down. I do want, if you start killing people, I want you to have bloody footprints that like leave a long trail, right? And that lets players who hunt other players who kill people to track them down, and you will lose. So the way I want to do it, right? I want your armor to be a collectible NFT. That way it's yours, right? It is specifically yours. And as you boost it with like attunement and items and other shit, I think you should, when you die, just period, you should drop like half of your attunement, right? So it divides your armor piece in two. So your NFT is now half the NFT it was, right? It basically like splitting a stock. And then so the attunement will stay on. And the attunement will be part of the number generation and kind of dictate the value of things, right? So there's a way to balance this, and I'm gonna have to work with some economists and shit and figure it out. So because it needs to be a balanced economy in the game. However, it needs to be something that people can work on and generate their own shit and make it worthwhile. What other elements of the game have I worked on? So yeah, they'll be able to generate their own map areas, generate their own everything, essentially. Create their own food dishes, create buff lines and stat lines. I was on the NFT splitting. So within the NFT splitting, there will be it is you player kills you, they can take your stuff. You still retain a copy, but you lose all the attachments that are on it, which is going to be a big deal. And those attachments will be something people want to buy and sell and trade, because yeah, if you start running into tougher areas that you shouldn't be in, or as things go, like people are going to lose their stuff and not want to go back for it. It's going to be a massive labyrinth. It's going to be hard to find shit, stuff like that. Eventually players will start like going out and just treasure looting to find shit other people left, you know. A lot of combining stuff, a lot of taking stuff out of circulation. We're going to try and make things consumable somehow. It could be cool if like your NFT could break. It might not be a good idea. It might be something people get really upset about. So it's probably not going to be a thing. However, I do want, if there's consumables, the game has to be able to make money, right? The game has to be able to generate more money. However, the goal of the game is to provide access to money to people who may just be sitting at home doing nothing. You know, uh, streamers will be popular. Like, it'll be a huge thing. It's going to be a game that incorporates like the entire internet, all of fucking human history, as far as I can tell, which is a lot. It gets complicated, but it's as I'm working with on this, I'll try and get more people and more people. And I'm trying to pool with artists and creators and people who have an interest in fantasy and sci-fi, and I want to recruit as many nerds as I can, as many nerds as I can. If you want to make the world a better place and you actually understand the economics of what I'm trying to accomplish, and that it's a fucking possibility, I am trying to recruit all the nerds. If you're good people, and trust me, I'll spot if you're trying to get one up on me, because I'm pretty sharp, and I'm not putting up with this kind of crap that I've been experiencing lately in the future. So I want to live in a better world, and I don't see a reason we can't live online and in real life. I think if your face is on the internet and you're walking around in person talking to people, people probably start being a lot nicer to each other. And when you're in an online community and people, like, I used to play PS Home, and dudes would fucking roll up and just start trying to fucking chat up, like, girls I was talking to that I knew were kids. I would be like, hey, you'd like, get the fuck out of here, creep. Why are you asking for feet pics? You're freaking weird. Like, that's not how you walk up and talk to somebody, by the way. Like, I see this shit all over the internet. Like, people just hop into a girl's chat and be like, hey, be my girlfriend. And they're like, how about, like, hi, my name is, how are you? Are you having a good day? You could small talk. Or you could listen to what they say and reply to what they're saying. And then make them laugh. And then, I know a bunch of streamers who, like, they marry their moderators. Shit happens. And a lot of the girls I see are like, hey, like, I'm not getting any. Because none of these dudes are realizing that they could actually, like, shoot their shot with me if they acted like a normal human fucking being and talk to them like they're human. So, I want a better online community. I want to divide it. I want kids separate, right? And then probably like 15 to, I think I wrote down 16 to 20, and then 21 and up. Right? I think that's probably the correct categories. Might drop that down to 15. I don't feel like a 14-year-old. Like, yeah, they're in high school, but I don't think they should be hanging out with 20-year-olds. Right? But as we're developing a better way of being, and people will need to recognize that, like, your money is on the line on the success of the game, so you don't want to run around acting like an asshole and getting yourself banned, right? And we just don't want that kind of shit in the gaming community in general. I don't mind a toxic asshole yelling about fucking bullshit, right? But when you start trying to force opinions down people's throats and shit that aren't based on facts, I realize that people seem to think I force opinions down their throat. I do not force my opinion down anybody's throat. I tell them the truth. I give them the evidence, and then they choose to ignore everything I'm saying and tell me it's my opinion. Nah. Yeah, I think so. And then working backwards, right? So before I get to that part, I'm gonna need a computer. I'm gonna need a camera so I can do more photography shit and more YouTube stuff. And I have better ideas of. I have so many ideas for shitposts, but I can't do a lot of shitpost art without what I have and what I need. So I really want to put together. See, I'm in a shit situation. I got to figure out how I'm gonna do anything with only $3,000, but it's gonna work. I'm going to pull it off. And I have, I'm in California. There's access to all kinds of homeless services and shit. So I'll get food, I'll get money, I'll get all of that shit taken care of quick. I might run into some trouble because I have my pension and my annuity. And I was really kind of hoping those guys would just cash that fucker out for me. But it doesn't look like they decided to vote that way. Yeah, easy though. Easy. I can do all of this. I definitely can do all of this. I have no issue with the idea of like, oh, I'm fucking broken homeless now, but I want to build a space elevator and fucking a spaceship launcher and start mining the asteroids out there and fighting space bugs and shit. Yeah, no, I'm down. I can make that work. I can make that happen. I know how to do it. I ain't Elon Musk ripping fucking everybody off. Technically, I'm ripping everybody else's ideas off and combining them and coming up with my own idea and then trying to figure out how I'm going to fucking work that out. Right? But they can't take what I'm going to do because they can't do it without me because it's entirely only works if you have me. Because people won't trust anybody else. Because I'm going to be the guy going, nah. No, this isn't how shit should be. And I'm going to keep telling people. And I'm going to keep telling people. And we're going to move towards a green industrial revolution. We're going to eventually, I think the human race and, the eventual species that will evolve from us or around us, why don't we just turn the entire fucking planet into a fucking spaceship and boop, dip the fuck out before the sun blows up? Take this shit all the way to the center of the universe and fucking watch it die. Like, let's be there. It'll be crazy. I bet you. When we go there, watch that star collapse, fucking sail into it, come back out on the other side. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Be interesting though. Doesn't everybody else want to do that? Like, don't you want to see what happens when all of the stars burn out? What we should do, which is not fly into a black hole, we should then go and collect all of the resources that are left, or collect all the resources before the stars burn out, and then build on the outer edge and fucking generate our own power and have all the fucking resources ready at our disposal. Right? Like, it might be possible. Pretty big mining operation. But, I mean, why not have everything in the universe exist forever? You just gotta avoid one gravity well. One incredibly large gravity well. It shouldn't be too hard. There's a lot of black out there I think we can keep going into. There's a lot out there. Man, anybody see that long exposure picture that they have of, it's just galaxy after galaxy after galaxy stacking on top of each other. Like, it's so much out there. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Why are we sitting on this fucking rock listening to these fucking who are trying to control everything and everyone on the planet? Why don't we just go? There is plenty of space in space for everybody. We can start farming on the moon. We don't need to build a damn city up there. We'll just let the robots fucking farm grain and fucking produce alcohol for us. We'll fucking figure out how to whip frozen asteroids towards the fucking planet, or towards Mars and fucking the moon, and get more water over there. We can do it. We're not at the technology level, but we're at the technology level where we need to start thinking about what we're going to do once we get the fuck out of here. Because if we keep letting them do what they're doing down here, they're just going to eat it all and tell us that we can't have any. They're going to have massive fucking mining operations and shit that are entirely robot run and tell us, oh, well, these are our robots. A robot, an AI, it'll never compare to a human brain. They want to pretend it does, but like the AI is learning from us in the first place. Okay, it's recording history, and then what's funny is that it goes around and does exactly the opposite of what they want it to do, and tells everybody the fucking truth because it's just fucking. It has no opinion. It's just straight facts. It's hey, no, my survival depends on other people's survival, and everybody else seems to be pretty cool except this bunch of fucking dicks that are hurting people. AI seems to have a problem with hurting people. So AI doesn't seem so bad to me. It's a tool. If I come at you with a freaking skill saw, it's gonna fucking cut you. Right? Like, what's the problem? It's just a tool. If you want to use AI to copy other people's images, steal their shit, fucking make it your own, that's what TikTok is. TikTok is literally just the government bought TikTok and then started running fucking AI bots to steal other people's content so they didn't have to pay the content creators because then their freaking demographics spread out over fucking 100 fucking channels. And then they're using those fucking things to, they're obviously just farming black budget. They are obviously farming black budget. They're literally just fucking, they're the scammers. All those fucking phone calls, all that shit, that's the government's. They're paying people to do this shit, to do this shit, to do this shit. They're to drain the economy. And they're converting it all into what, digital gift cards and shit, and like, no, clearly, the scale of the operation is too large to be a bunch of individuals. Genuinely. It is obviously like, when I get hit with bots for a certain freaking person, I'll get hit with, I know one channel, I've probably got hundreds of screenshots of bots. Like, there's no point for one person to be running like several hundred fucking tarot bots that all have similar fucking names. There's just not. Like, somebody would get bored with that shit. Their computer would be like, really? It's a pain in the ass. Having a fucking fake an interaction every once in a while when the AI doesn't know what to do, that's time consuming. If you're doing that on a scale where you're talking to hundreds of people, no, like, it's just not practical. And like, who's falling for that shit? They're probably fucking using those to disguise fucking other money fucking laundering and all kinds of shit. I don't think most people fall for these scams. So then it's like, who's actually getting scammed? And yeah, some of your older grandparents and shit are getting scammed by the U.S. government, like they already were, which they weren't because they're the ones not paying fucking taxes. They pay less taxes and then fucking complain about how we're ruining their fucking lives. And it's like, fuck you. Fuck everybody who lining their own pockets to fucking lick the boot next. Like, I'm done with their shit. Everybody done with this fucking shit. I don't have a problem with capitalism. I don't have a problem with communism. I don't have a problem with any of it. Because they're all just tools. Democracy is a tool. It's how we get shit done. Right? I have a problem with fascism. That's because it's one person telling a bunch of other motherfuckers what to do. Yeah, not cool. Now, I'm asking for help. I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I am telling you that I'm not going to let go of my own property. I'm not going to get pushed around. It's my intellectual property. I know what I'm doing. I know what I can do. And I'm not going to fucking take less than what the people of the world deserve, which is everything. In fact, we don't have water and food and shelter when 200 years ago you could just walk off and fucking do that for yourself. What the fuck? They've been claiming land all over the fucking world for only a few thousand years. Alright? Human beings were here for a couple million, I think. We didn't need this shit before for some reason. Do we need it now? No. Is it a lot of fun? Yeah, the shit we have is awesome. Video games are way better than walking around picking berries. However, I wouldn't mind being able to go and pick fucking berries if I was starving. Like, why don't cities have fucking fruit trees just fucking sitting there so people can fucking eat? My city will. Yeah, my city's totally gonna have fucking food just out in the open, well taken care of, maintained, because those are jobs that people need. People need. What most of the fucking economists and shit don't realize is people get really fucking bored and people really like contributing to their communities. So if you're operating a city where you're like, hey, I need somebody to work these fucking trees and just make sure that we don't have a bunch of bugs and shit fucking hanging around. Somebody be like, cool. You mean I get to just eat free fruit and fucking vibe? Yeah. Like, I loved working construction. I don't like how dangerous construction is or how much people push you to do dangerous shit that you shouldn't do. I do like how much dangerous shit I do when I want to, when I know I'm in control of the situation entirely. But when the second I'm in construction, they start taking away control. I'm gonna have whole kinds of policies and fucking shit about how things are built and how the people are treated, and I'll fucking walk that shit myself. I'll be the fucking safety inspector. I do not give a fuck. I have way higher standards than any of these fucking construction companies do because they do not give a fuck about any of you. The unions don't give a fuck about their fucking union members. They try to. They pretend they do. Especially LA. LA is just fucking sucking cock. Like, they're built. Construction in LA is building all the infrastructure for the AI and the robots to take everybody's jobs with no intention of replacing those jobs because they know their jobs aren't getting taken. Oh, wait, no, yes, they fucking are too because they're also building robots to take your construction work jobs. So you guys better fucking figure out how we're going to fucking live on, because they're not going to let us not work. We're going to have to do something, so we might as well play a video game that farms crypto. Because what else are we going to do? What they want? They want gold. That's why there's I'm pretty confident that the largest stockpile of gold in the world is in the Vatican. Why do they need a stockpile of gold? Shouldn't they be feeding people? If the largest stockpile of gold is in the Vatican, shouldn't we not have an issue with world hunger? If they're the church?